Hi everyone! Japan is an amazing country, which combines the most advanced technologies with loyalty to traditions. Sometimes the Japanese create absolutely insane things, but they still care for everyone who lives in the country. Sometimes it seems that while the rest of the world lives in 2019, Japan has long been living in 3019. Don't believe us? Well, we have a few examples to prove our point. Let's get it on. Toilet in the elevator. Have you ever been stuck in an elevator for a long time? Yes, it can be a really bad experience, especially if the person's claustrophobic. But even for an absolutely healthy elevator passenger, this could be torture if he really needs to use the bathroom. No need to be ashamed though, we are all humans after all. Maybe you were just about to go to the restroom, but electricity failed and you got stuck in the elevator. What do you do next? And while this is a truly horrifying situation to imagine, let's see how they solve this issue in Japan. They put special benches in the elevators of office buildings and hotels. You can sit on them if you get tired of standing, and if necessary, they can be used as a toilet. Perhaps this practice should be adopted by other countries too.
This is an emergency sort of pooing area, a little pot, and below it is actually an emergency supply of food. So if we push this button...
Wheelchair accessible bus. In Japan, people with disabilities are perceived as people with additional needs, and these needs must be satisfied. For example, public transport is accessible to anyone. There are special folding ramps in buses, which help the person in a wheelchair get on the bus. The bus driver is responsible for handling this ramp, and he also helps people with disabilities to get in or leave the bus while the other passengers wait patiently. And the Japanese didn't stop there. They continue to increase the accessibility of public transport. Today, folding ramps in Japanese transport are still controlled manually, but the scientists are working on the automatic ramps that can unfold automatically and help the people with disabilities get on the bus. Parking chairs. After the working day is over, the chairs in the office are often scattered in different places. This doesn't look orderly and takes time to put them back in place. That is why the Japanese company Nissan has developed office chairs that can park near the tables. In order to activate these chairs, all you need to do is clap your hands, and the chairs will drive to their intended places. The chairs use motion sensors to navigate around the office. They're controlled via Wi-Fi, and although it's unlikely these chairs will be used in every office, we wonder if they can move under the weight of an office employee. Are there any possibilities to arrange a race? And what if someone would suddenly start clapping his hands during working hours? Napping at work. Surely many of you have heard about this Japanese practice. The phenomenon known as inimuri is part of Japanese cultural code, which demonstrates that the worker is so involved in the business process that he obviously doesn't have time to get a good sleep. Japanese traditions encourage daytime napping at work, as well as in transport or other public places. Of course, you should not sleep right in front of your boss. Some may not like it. According to some research, people who take a nap at work are more productive than those who don't, and that is another reason to encourage inimuri. Napping in the workplace has its own rules too. You must not take up too much space, otherwise your colleagues will surely wake you up to tell you that they're not happy with your behavior. Bus platforms. Driving through narrow streets is still a challenge for public transport, especially massive ones like a bus. Often, these streets have one-lane traffic, and parking can be a real nightmare. In Japan, where each square inch of space is precious, they figured out how to solve this problem and installed special rotating platforms. The driver no longer risks crashing into the walls of surrounding buildings while trying to make a turn. Electronics does the trick. By the way, similar platforms are installed in the garages to ensure faster and safer driving. Well, the next thing they need is automated buses. Actually, Japan's got that covered too. Automated buses. Like many other developed countries, Japan is working on automated buses. Moreover, they have already created the first prototypes and even run some tests. So far, these buses don't drive long distances, and they are moving rather slowly, but this is only for now. In order for the bus to navigate its way onto the road, it was equipped with laser sensors, multiple cameras, GPS, the full package. The automated buses will be finished by the time the Tokyo Olympic Games commence in 2020. That is, very soon. Signs. Imagine this, you came to a new mall and are looking for a specific store, but you have no idea where to find it. To make your search easier, you can use the digital map of the mall, choose the floor you need and stare at the plan for a long time, and then what? Where do you go? Sound familiar? Well, in Japan they've thought about it too, and designed special signs that turn in the right direction and help you find the store you're looking for. It seems that soon the Japanese will invent the Marauder's map, we just have to wait a bit. Umbrella seals. People use shoe covers in order not to leave wet or dirty marks on a clean floor. In Japan, they went one step further and invented seals for umbrellas. It works as simple as it could get. You just need to place the umbrella in a special device, and this is it. And this is a much more useful thing than it seems at first glance. If you enter the store after a heavy rain, your umbrella will be wet, and even in the folded state, it will certainly touch someone. It wouldn't leave any stains, but it will still be unpleasant, and Japanese hate giving trouble to anyone, even if it is just a quick touch of a wet umbrella. AED vending machines. The Japanese really love all sorts of vending machines. If you have seen at least one video about this country, you probably know this. They sell everything in vending machines, from a variety of drinks and food to basic necessities.
What is Pocari Sweat? That's a terrible name for a drink.
A little bit salty, like sweat.
No, it's not.
But the machines are not only for trade. Some of them have first aid kits and defibrillators, and it is really useful, even smart. After all, you never know where and at what point a person can need help, and the right medicines may simply not be at hand. And although ambulances in Japan always arrive quickly, sometimes it comes to the point when every second counts, and the most ordinary vending machine can literally save a person's life. Where else can you see something like that? Beer pouring machine. Yes, machines in Japan sell almost everything. For people who haven't been there, it's quite difficult to understand that drink vending machines, along with sakura, sushi and Fujiyama, are one of the main symbols of Japan. They can even sell beer.
Oh my god.
And it will be poured so perfectly that the machine can leave real bartenders without a job. Color-changing clothes. Clothes that change color and pattern depending on your desire or mood. Sounds unlikely, right? As if this idea comes from some sci-fi movie about the distant future. But Japan already lives in the future, because Japanese scientists have created a unique material, or rather a very flexible display that can change color. The best thing about this material is that after the color is displayed, you can turn the power off, and the color will still remain on the material. Just imagine how much money you can save on your clothes. Wedding robot. Japan is a country of advanced technologies, and robotics are very sophisticated there as well. You can even say that robots become a part of everyday life of the Japanese people. For example, in 2010, a curious wedding took place in one of the restaurants in the center of Tokyo. The groom Tomohiro Shibata and the bride Satoko Inui were officially wed by an elegant 5-foot-tall robot with plastic braids. iFairy is an android made by Kokoro, a famous Japanese manufacturer of robots and animatronics. The robot did its job perfectly. This wedding was officially the first one held by a robot. By the way, the couple chose the robot to be their wedding conductor because they both are involved in robotics. After exchanging vows, the bride said that with her wedding she wanted to show people that robots could easily fit into their everyday lives. Automatic doors. Of course, these are not the usual doors that can be found in any supermarket. These special barriers are installed at Shinkansen stations, a high-speed network of Japanese railways, famous throughout the world. Over 50 years, Shinkansen has carried more than 10 billion passengers, but not a single passenger has died due to train accidents, such as crashes or collisions. Even the earthquakes that occur in Japan had no impact on these trains. However, there were some injuries and death caused by the closing of doors and passengers falling from and in front of moving trains. To avoid such accidents, automatic barriers were installed at the stations, which opened only after the train arrived. Military robots. Well, we can't talk about Japan and not mention battle robots. Despite the fact that the army of the Land of the Rising Sun is powerful enough without robots, this technology can be used to protect the country. Today, battle robots are not only a classic element of anime or blockbusters from Michael Bay. The Japanese robot Kuritas was created in 2012. It's roughly 4 meters tall, it weighs 4.5 tons, so it is quite a serious threat. The robot is not autonomous either, it's controlled by an operator who sits inside. However, engineers say that Kuritas is just a toy, or is it? Hey, stop being lazy, it's time to use that brain of yours. Welcome to Brain Time. Incredible facts from the past, the present, and even the future. The power of nature and wild animals, amazing facts and unsolved mysteries. You'll find all this and much more here. Subscribe now, you won't regret it.